And welcome to Writer's Life, the place where you get the sights, sounds, smells, taste of my particular writer's life, where you get the truth about the writer's life. Punch the like button. Tap the bell for notifications and join up if you haven't already. That would be wonderful. If you don't like it, you can unjoin. Unsubscribe is what I'm trying to say. What are we? November 11th already. It's been a decent month so far, sort of. Nothing special. Selling a lot of paperbacks lately. There seems to be this little trend. People are, ebooks are always kill it, but people are buying more paperback versions than I think ever before. And I have like two versions of a lot of books. I have like of my independent books. I'm saying, like the Bear Media books. There's paperbacks that are published by Kindle Direct Publishing and Draft to Digital. The Draft to Digital one paperbacks are in particular are very nice. They have a little bit of art inside them and things like that. So check them out if you want. They make great stocking stuffers. Actually, some of them pretty big. They make great gifts. And if anybody needs me to sign anything, I know you have to put it in the mail and send it to me, but I'm more than happy to sign it and send it back to you if that's what you want. Just include an SASE and we can go from there. It's up to you. Or if you live locally, we can meet or something like that, and I'll sign your books maybe while we have a beer. And you're buying. No, I'll buy you a beer. Quick note on keywords for you writers out there. It's good to change them up now and again. And you know that probably. But also in 2024, 2025, because we're really working for 2025 now. 2024 is gone. It's all done. What you earned in 2024 is done, finished. Now you're working for 2025. Brain farting. But what was I going to say? Oh, yes, about the keywords and stuff. Don't forget, wow, was that? See, this is what happens when you wake up from a nap and you're drinking only like a third of a cup of coffee that's left over from breakfast that you popped in the microwave. You're just like brain dead. Anyway, use your chat GPT to help you with your keywords. I know I like Kindlepreneur and all that stuff. I like that product, but it takes time and I like instant gratification. But if you, like, for instance, the Shroud key, I popped in, like, please give me, relevant keywords, money-making keywords or something like that. I said, I'm not bashful with it, for the Shroud key by Vincent Zandri. And it has it in its database. It knows what the book is all about. And it gave me 10 brand new, fresh keywords. And I popped them in last night. And I always sell, like, I don't know how many editions of the Shroud key every month, but I wanted to see if it would pick up. And like, sure enough, like by this morning, I'd sold like more Shroud keys than I normally would have overnight. And I'm like, I wonder if it's because of the new keywords. Doesn't mean it is. Doesn't mean it's because it could just be coincidence. But it would be cool if it is, because if that is the case, and I'm noticing a little bit of a spike, it's not. I mean, if you look at the rank, it's not quite registering yet, but it will. I'm also in the process of going after a BookBub for the Shroud key. They've been BookBub's been really good to that book. and I've had maybe 4 or 5 book pubs for it, because it's got close to 2,000 reviews. Like I said, it's sold, like tens of thousands of copies and stuff like that. And the series itself is a big seller for me. So, and like I've also said, it's not for sale unless somebody wants to offer me at least 7 figures. And you're out there. I know you are. Where are you? I know you are. Your people can talk to my people. So speaking of all this stuff, so it just got me to thinking, like, in this book business, it's when you're selling on the independent level, and even in the traditional level. Well, no, let's just keep it to the independent level for now. You should never expect like huge sales, like, unless you do have a book pub or some other marketing thing. But in general, you're going to be selling small amounts over several, or over multiple platforms anyway. What's the old saying? Don't try to rely on selling 100 books a day on like Amazon. Try to sell 10 books off of 10 platforms every day. That's a much easier goal to accomplish. I'm not, actually, Drafted Digital has got like what, 40 or 50, bookstores that you could potentially sell it. And the library stuff does really, I don't want to say it does really well, but it does pretty well. You're also selling audio, and you're selling, like I said, paperback, and and if you're selling off of oh boy, hang on one second. I'm gonna have to leave a message for me now, aren't I? I don't know who that is. Also, if you're selling off of Google, that's another moneymaker. Some authors are actually talking about like switching, like not thinking of Amazon as like their main distribution platform or sales platform, but they're starting to switch to Google and utilizing that. Google's gotten better. I kind of gave up on Google after a while because it was so difficult to propagate and even to do things as simple as change the pricing. But now it's extremely simple. It's easier than Amazon. So think about that. Make sure your traditionally published books are being published everywhere possible. And there's a lot of places to sell these days. And if they're not, contact your publisher and be like, hey, let's get these books going on other platforms. And if you should walk into like a big warehouse store, where like you buy all like your paper goods and whatever in bulk, and you see one of your hardcovers on the discount table, also contact your publisher and tell them to get them the fuck off of there, because you're not getting a dime for that. Those are what they call overruns. Those are books that don't sell. So like when you're walking past, that table that's, stuffed in between like the cheap acrylic shirts and the tidy whities. Those are, and you see a David Baldacci there or something like that. It's not like, wow, there's David Baldacci. It's more like those are books that didn't sell. So they're just trying to get rid of stock, probably for cost, at these cheap stores. Sometimes I'll take my mother to a store like that, and she'll be like, oh, gotta go to the book section. And I'm like, can you not buy books there, please? You're undercutting the authors. Your son is an author. This is how he makes his money. And she's like, yeah. Whatever. You do what pleases you, and I'll do what pleases me. All right. But if you're still like, you know what, I'm just not making enough money yet, and I've been at it for so many years, and I write a lot of books, and I get them out there. They're beautiful. The art is beautiful. The editing is great. what the hell's going wrong? Why aren't I like making tens of thousands of dollars a month? First of all, if you're making tens of thousands of dollars a month, you're probably a romance author. But there's a, you have to think about income streams. And again, I'm repeating myself a little bit, but you know, are you relying just on your royalties to make that living? You're a writer. Have you ever thought about freelancing? You can freely. I know people. I met a woman on a plane to Italy. Her name was Mary, I remember. Nice lady. And we talked to, she's like, "Oh, you're a writer," and she never heard of me, and she's like, "I am a writer too. In fact, my husband's a writer." And to be perfectly honest, I thought she was cute. And when she said my husband's a writer, I was like, deflation. But anyways, she was a very nice person to talk to. She's like, he works on one side of the house in his pajamas. I work on the other side of the house in her pajamas. But she wrote for businesses. And like she was writing for like the Sheraton companies. Does that make sense? Or whatever company owns Sheraton or whatever. I don't know the details of it. But judging by the way she was talking, like she was making, easily six figures a year writing content, I should say, for them. And the husband was doing the same. So they're bringing in like lawyer money. That's so you could do that even on a part-time basis and say bring in $50,000 a year and then spend the rest of your time writing fiction. I could do it, but I don't. I have done it with some construction and architectural firms way in the past, like a long time ago. But I remember those checks were good checks. Those were big checks that I would get. But I got away from it because I wanted to be more of a journalist. And naturally, as soon as I really started making headway as a freelance journalist, like working for RT and some others, I got big book deals again, and I was like, all right, scrap that. I'm going to concentrate on the book deals. So, but again, be a hybrid author, publish traditionally if you can, grab some advances, even if they're small advances. If you want to try, sell some short stories in some magazines, you can do that. I did an experiment this summer where I sent out like 5 or 6 short stories, or no, 5 or 6. No, I sent out one short story to like 5 or 6 different publications. I got like 2 rejections. One of those was like, "Oh, send this to our other company, our other magazine, and they'll probably publish it." But I never pursued it, and I never heard back from the others. So like that's out. But you should try it if you want. You might get lucky and be like, find a magazine that just really loves your stuff and will constantly publish it for you. So that would be another income stream. So you got the fiction, you got traditional publishers. Start your own company, like I did with Barra Media, and publish a ton of stuff, especially if you're prolific. And remember, with your own company, you can write whatever you want, when you want, how you want to do it. Sort of think of it as stuff that a traditional publisher wouldn't even touch. If that will justify it alone. Like when I wrote Tarantulas at 30,000 feet, you know, is Random House going to publish that book? No. First of all, it's too short. Second of all, it's just, you know, it's totally pulp fiction. They're not going to do it. Freelance if you can. Maybe even do something as simple as blogging for some companies. I still do a little ghost writing for some professionals via this company out in California, which I can't mention. And it's a nice check every month, and it takes me almost no time. I can do it while I'm having breakfast with one hand. Boom, 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 1,000 words. Boom. But I can see that coming to an end pretty soon. We'll see. I don't think I ever will stop. I think I'll always have some sort of freelance client going. First of all, I really like it. I like that sort of pseudo journalism. if I had more time, I would do more serious journalism, but I just don't have the time because I'm putting out so much fiction. And also, don't forget your investments. I'm heavily invested in Bitcoin and other cryptos, as everybody knows. And right now is a bull market. It's not too late to get in. The bull market just started, and it's going to go for a year. But know when to get out too, or you'll lose money. That's been my problem through the years. Is like I never knew when to get out, and I'd lose money. But do your research, learn when to get in, learn when to get out, learn how to take profits if that's what you're going to do. Again, this is entertainment only. It's not financial advice. You do your own research and do what works for you. For me, investing in Bitcoin as an asset, as a long-term asset, while taking profits, makes a lot of sense for me. And there's other things you can do. Invest in real estate. If you have the extra money, buy a house and rent it out. Buy an apartment building or a duplex, rent it out. Buy a small house in the woods and set up an Airbnb. There's all sorts of little things you can do, because you're not just a writer, you're not just that's it. You're also a business person who works for him or herself, and you love that freelance life where you can get up when you want, you can go to bed when you want, you can do what you want, you can take a day off if you want, you can go skiing, you can hop a flight to Europe, and your business doesn't suffer. You can, in a few months, I'll be writing from a cafe in Italy, and my business, it'll be the same as if I were writing here in my studio. All right. Anyway, those are the things you should be doing. So, with all this in mind, this sort of semi-tutorial, I got all the rights back to the Writer's Life essays because a lot of them I had taken off of Medium and put onto Kindle Vella, but now Kindle Vella is dead. It'll be gone for good in December. And so I got all those back. I downloaded everything. It's something like 425 articles. A lot of them contain material that is still extremely relevant and evergreen. And I will be putting up one or two every week on my Substack page. Just go to The Writer's Life, my Substack page. Vincent Zandri, The Writer's Life. Matt Taibbi also has a Writer's Life. There's probably like 100 of them. But go to mine, Vincent Zandri, The Writer's Life. And some of these essays, I think, you will not only enjoy, but you'll find that's very useful information for you because it's coming from my personal journey. And like I've told you before, I kind of made this all up as I went. I didn't know, I came from a construction business background. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I modeled it after how Hemingway did his thing. Start with the newspapers, go to magazines, go to literary journals, write short stories, then write a novel, see what happens. That's how I did it. It worked. And it worked. But anyway, so you can expect to see those very soon. If you haven't signed up for my Substack newsletter, do so. We would love to have you. I would prefer a paid subscription because then you get the free fiction that I put up almost every single day, and you'll get the majority of these articles. Some of them I'll put up for free. A lot of them will be under a paywall. And man's got to have income streams, right? Man's got to eat and drink and travel. All right, you guys, that's all I got for today. Hope you're having a great Monday on this November 11th. And just one more thing, a special shout out to all the veterans out there. I went to military school. I'm not so sure I would have done well in the Army or anything like that because I'm hard-headed and taking orders isn't my kind of thing. That said, in another life, I would have loved to have been a war reporter and to have written about the military and their adventures. But that was not to be for this life anyway. Maybe the next one. But to my grandfather, who was a hero in World War II, ended up a major. Two Purple Hearts, Bronze Star. To my nephew, who fought in Afghanistan. I wish you all the best Memorial Day possible, and thank you for your service. We need it. All right, you guys. I will talk to you, if not tomorrow, then the next day. Ciao, ciao.